Say go,
Ladies and
Austin. We're
gentlemen,
live, my man.
let's do it. We're going all the way live here. Welcome to PennZone, uh, PennLive's new high school football watch along show with sports editor Austin Hertzog. I'm alongside high school football expert and trending news guru Brian Linder. We're taking in the action here. We're going to pick it up here in the second half. We're going to jump around to different games here in the Mid-Penn and beyond. There's so much action going on. We're just trying to take it all in, follow the scoreboards, follow the tweets, follow the live streams. Brian, how are you consuming everything tonight here on night one?
Man, we got the game up here. We got Cedar Cliff and Redland, which is I actually thought Cedar Cliff might beat up on them a little bit more than they are right now. It's 30-7 right now, third quarter. Cedar Cliff's always traditionally a tough team. They run the ball well. They're moving over to the Commonwealth. It's big for them. This is their rivalry though, out at West Shore Stadium, right across town. Redland's been down. uh, and Cedar Cliff typically beats up on them. It's starting to really turn that way now. But man, I got Gateway and State College on over here. State College is up 28-7. We kind of thought they would beat them. Gateway's usually pretty good, and they have some athletes. And I also had the Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township game, which that's kind of been up and down the field. I think it's 28-14 right now. I think Manheim Township's winning, but it looks like they're deep in their own territory here. So a lot of stuff going on tonight, man. Austin, I think the story tonight, though, around the state is coming out of the Mid-Penn. Uh, Shippensburg is now beating Big Spring 21-7. A lot of people that don't know, Shippensburg's quarterback Brady McJeskey. He's the son of Shippensburg University coach Mark McJeskey. His brother, his 13-year-old brother, died tragically. They found him dead in their backyard earlier this week. Um, a lot of circumstances around that still to be worked out. I believe it was a gunshot to the head. Still trying to figure out some stuff around that. Austin. The kid played tonight. Brady Majeski played tonight. He's the starting quarterback for Shippensburg. He's got a touchdown run. He's thrown for over 100 yards. They're winning 21-7 over their rival Big Spring in the Little Brown Jug game. And you hate the tragedy, but man, there's a powerful community story going on out there right now, Austin.
No, that's so right. I mean, I think we spoke about it here as we tried to figure out what might take place there. Would Brady play? Would he not? You can't fault anybody if they don't, but at the same time, we always look. You and I have spoken about it, that the healing power of sports. That so many times people turn to just wanting to be with their team, whether just wanting to be on the field. And I think you see that tonight, where through a total tragedy, uh, Brady's out there with his brothers on the football field and carrying each other through, supporting them. So you're right. Quite a story there.
He scored on that sneak, man, and the linemen pick him up. They're all slapping him on the back. He runs off the field. Coach Eric Faust is there and grabs him up in a big bear hug and stuff like that. And nothing can ever replace your brother. Nothing can ever fill this hole in the sadness. And we all know that, but also it's great that he has this community behind him in a moment like this. And really is what's special about high school football.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing that struck me was that I understand that this is a pretty big rivalry game, but at the same time, you saw folks from the Big Spring side change the theme of the night, wanting to rally around the Shippensburg team and try to support them. Um, in rivalries are great, but sometimes real life steps in, and then you find out that the rivalry is just kind of for fun, and you're trying to support each other otherwise.
It looks like this won't be the year for Redland to come back and get their rivals here. They're getting roughed up pretty good. But again, I actually thought Cedar Cliff might run away from them a little bit earlier in this. So we'll see. We'll see what Redland gets out of this. It's been a couple down years from them. They've had good baseball programs. The basketball team's been good. So you just wonder if they can get it going in the right direction over there. Again, very interesting year for Cedar Cliff going into the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. That Austin, I think we talked about it in our meetings a lot. For a lot of people who don't know, I mean, they have in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth, I think 4 or 5 kids who are like nationally type rated prospects. Offensive lineman Kevin Brown from Harrisburg, the offensive lineman from Cumberland Valley, Tyler Merrill, Elias Koch, the wide receiver from Harrisburg, Messiah Mickens, the running back from Harrisburg. A lot of Harrisburg names on here. They play tomorrow, man. That's a big game tomorrow, LaSalle College, where
Yeah. Yeah.
they'll play
What do
Gavin
you
Six.
think, Brian? What do you think about what are going to be the biggest impacts of the realignment in the mid Penn? What are the things that's? I mean, obviously, I think McDevitt going to the Commonwealth is obviously a big.
Well,
But what are the other ones that really stand out to you of the shifts that make things a little bit interesting? And it seems like maybe here in week one, there's some opponents that would have otherwise faced later, and now they're having to get together here in week one just because of it.
well, they got to play all the rivalry games. Like the Cocoa Bean Bowl is being played out in Hershey right now, and I think the Hershey Trojans are shutting out Milton Hershey. Can't talk, Austin. I got to get my coffee going, man. I get my
That's
coffee
right.
going. I
That
think
cold
Hershey,
brew.
I think Hershey's beating up on Milton Hershey. We kind of expected that because they were pretty good. But when you talk about like things you look at, like that mid, I got to start again in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth. We just did a story last year where Bishop McDevitt and Harrisburg had not played for several years. And I know you said other things, but I'm going to start there because for people who don't understand, that was really one of the biggest rivalries in the state. Bishop McDevitt used to be, less than a mile from Harrisburg, and they used to walk back and forth when they played games. And now Bishop McDevitt moved a little bit farther away from Harrisburg High, uh, but they had some good games going. And then Harrisburg had Micah Parsons, and they really roughed up Bishop McDevitt that one year. And then the COVID year they were supposed to play, and there was the whole McDevitt canceled because of COVID, and I think there's some Harrisburg people saying it wasn't COVID, it was Cougar fever, and so there was some
I
hard
love that.
and they weren't going to play. And then this realignment put McDevitt back in the Commonwealth, so they have to play, which is a great thing for high school football fans in the city. And it's really two of the most talented teams in the state. So it brings us back to having one of the top games talent wise in the state. That's coming week 2. I'm excited about that. The Mid-Penn Commonwealth in general, I already thought Austin was one of the toughest divisions in the state. With State College, Harrisburg, Central Dauphin, which, by the way, Central Dauphin is getting beat. Last I saw, 44-0 at half against Central York. That's a team that was playing for a 6A state title not too many years ago. They beat. I was at the game where they beat Will Howard, who's now the starting quarterback for Ohio State, to get there.
That's right.
They've had a couple down years, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but CD East is a talented team. They got Jared Porter, who we put on our preseason All-PA team. He's a Delaware commit. He's a fantastic player. And Zach Brown, they got a linebacker who could be a nationally ranked kid before he's done. Their coach, Lance Dean, you can stop me from rambling, Austin. Their coach,
No.
Lance Dean, actually trains Micah Parsons and Bryce Huff and Abdul Carter. There's a touchdown by Michael Gall for State College, long receiving touchdown. So they're going up 35-7 on Gateway.
Okay.
So I thought State College would beat them. I don't know, and I know Gateway lost some guys, but maybe a little surprised that it's 35-7. Gateway usually has some good athletes. That's a good look for State College right there. Another Mid-Penn Commonwealth team. CD East has good athletes. Harrisburg, State College. Cedar Cliff's moving over there, traditionally pretty solid, and then Bishop McDevitt. That's a killer conference, Austin.
Yeah, I feel like the first time we spoke, or the first time I really started getting my head into the Mid-Penn and Central PA, it was just the amount of talent and the amount of high-profile, highly capable programs coming in, especially this year. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
There you go, Redland. Look at Redland getting a touchdown,
Hey.
bumping shoulders and celebrating. A little, hey, look, how much time's left in this game? If we get another score here for Redland, it could, need a fumble or something. It might get interesting.
Well, and that's the thing, especially in these early season where in an early season game where you might have a little bit of disparity in talent from one program to the other. I always feel like it's about putting on a respectable performance where that and you feel like you're hanging in. You're able to compete with teams as opposed to just we got our doors blown off and now you get the negative feelings in the huddle and in the locker room and then it's just that all mounts and then you get just teams check out then. It's about just it begins with putting on respectable performances that you can feel like you have something to build on. I think that's one of those big things
It's
early on that is so crucial.
it's hard to preach
As once again, we
moral
have some
victories
lost
though
items
when
up here in the press
these
box.
kids
We
are
have a
rivals,
gold
and
bar
they're going to see
club
each
member
other
card. So if you are
they're going to
missing
see each
the
other at
feast
McDonald's or
on
Chick-fil-A
the
next week,
year
and they're going to be talking
1908,
smack.
Yeah.
you missed
Well,
it.
these days, look, that's we're
Once again,
old
we
school
have
now.
a
They're going to be
silver
on
booth
Twitter right
for
after this
being
game
canned
or
early.
something, you
That
know,
is got a
talking to
very
each other.
distinctive
So,
case.
but
Yeah.
now this
You are
is
missing
interesting.
your
Look,
trophy with that very
we're
distinctive case that was
one
put on
broken
you when
play
you
away
measured
from Redland
all of your
being
contact
in this game,
stats,
which I don't think any of us kind of had penciled in
Instagrams,
here. So
TikToks.
Eric Epler actually picked Cedar Cliff to be competitive in the Commonwealth. That was one of his predictions on our podcast, which
Mhm.
you guys are tuning in and you missed our P High School Football podcast this week, man. We had the breaking news podcast on Sean Lee Jr. And his eligibility hearing, which Harrisburg standout quarterback, who now we know is at
Patriots attempt the
Milford
onside
Academy, a
kick
prep
by
school, because his
Beyonce. It's
eligibility got
recovered by
turned
number
down.
26, Braden
That kind of is a
Schaefer.
big
And
player
the
in these
Patriots
state
will
outlook.
retain the
But
ball on offense on the
we had that,
Colts
and we had Tacky Hayes from
47-yard
Alec
line.
Whipple on. We talked about our statewide guys to watch, and then we broke down the Mid-Penn and guys to watch in the Mid-Penn and stuff. So it's a big week for our podcast. We had 3 different podcasts. Make sure you guys check that out. But back to this Mid-Penn shuffling up, Austin. It's going to be the Commonwealth, man. Is just it's the place to be. And the exciting thing for Bishop McDevitt is
Pass
they
interference on the play.
they kind of got a bum rap the last couple years because they would get into their division and play Palmyra and Lower Dolphin and
Makes it a
these teams. And
15-yard
look,
penalty and
I know
puts the ball
Palmyra's
on the
coach,
Colts
and he's been
32-yard
working
line.
hard to try to
6:42
get
to
something
go.
going there. Lower Dolphins coach,
Patriots
Rob Borelli, is Josh Borelli, not Rob. Josh Borelli has really done a good job
0-16.
there. They were really bad when he came in there. He's made them sort of a competent team and whatnot, but they were not on the level of Bishop McDevitt. So Bishop McDevitt will just run through that division with
Mhm.
occasional challenge to Cliff. And then when you get to playoffs and you got to play these really good teams,
Siler
it gets
initially goes
difficult.
outside and then cuts back inside.
But now they're going to be
First down
tested.
gain
They're
for
going
the
to be battle
Patriots.
tested in this Commonwealth. So that's going to be
Cade
interesting for
Finkbone
them.
with the tackle.
And at the 5A level too, they're moving up. So
Yeah, that's the thing is that it really strikes me that it's such a season of change
And it'll be
for
Austin Patrick
McDevitt. It's
on the 2nd and 2
to have to
penalty.
run through that gauntlet of the
Inside the 30.
Commonwealth, be in 5A. It feels to me like it's an entirely different exercise. It's like I think in the past, if you're just walking through teams, it's you're trying to build yourself, if you will, where you're not getting tested. Where now it's like you don't have to seek out the tough competition in practice. It's coming your way each Friday or Saturday. So yeah, I think I'm really interested. That's one of I would say for me that's one of the things I'm most interested in seeing play out here. Is now I'm in Mid-Penn being the focal point. Is just what does that look like now for McDevitt?
yeah, we had our feed locked up on the Cedar Cliff game. We had a cramp down there. You're going to see a lot of that early in the season. So kid
Yeah.
goes down, they're stretching him out. There's Chambersburg and Gettysburg. That's interesting right now. Chambersburg's up 17-10. Gettysburg returned to the star quarterback Brady Heiser, running back who went for 1,000 yards, and Preston Burnett. But
Mm-hmm.
Chambersburg's kind of interesting because that JJ Kelly supposedly was going to play this year. He didn't play last year, and that kid is he's like 6'4", 6'5", state track champion. Um, who kind of gave up track. He's got Division I basketball offers, and he got some
Defense
Division I
there.
football offers.
Riders are way back.
We're
They're
jumping
ball in
into
the
Chambersburg and
22.
Gettysburg right here now.
Take a
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah, we got a 17-10 game. It looks
Up
like
high.
here.
A touchdown. Heiser wanted to
Chambersburg
throw. Didn't like what
leading.
he sees. Now he's going to throw
Brady
downfield,
Heiser,
and
he's
it's
a
caught
look
by
at that. He's
number
got good
7
mobility,
for
keeps it alive,
Gettysburg Schultz.
gets it down the
He
field.
goes downfield.
Yeah,
Gets the
nice
first
job
down
rolling out and
more.
throwing it on the run
The
there
Trojans defense
He's
by
was
got,
Heiser.
Brady Heiser's
That's a
a good
big
player.
pickup there.
Schultz had plenty of time
He's
to
a
go
good
down
player,
the field.
man.
They had Schultz covered, and
You
as
know,
soon as
it'd be
Heiser
interesting to see if
started
he gets
rolling
anything
out,
college-wise. I think
defender
he can
left
play at the next
Schultz,
level.
and Heiser saw him
Their little
immediately.
running back there, Preston Burnett, I think he had over
That's that
1,500
football
yards
smarts.
last year.
27
So
yards on that.
I will
Heiser
be
made
really
the
excited to
adjustment, so
see, like I
Schultz
said,
open.
J.J. Kelly's out
Now
there
he gets the
for
snap.
Chambersburg here when
Throws
they get the
again,
ball.
another pass, and that's
So,
going to be incomplete.
still
It's going to
another
be
nice
second and
throw, it
10,
looks like.
ball on the 48-yard
So
line.
that's an interesting game for sure.
Yeah.
Just
Should we run down these
up here.
Mid-Penn scores, see where we're at? Obviously, we're
Dude,
here
it's
now on the
47
They're
Chamber.
into the field,
47 to
the
nothing.
Warriors.
Central York right now is beating Central
So
Dauphin
we
off. So
got
what's going
second
on with
and
the
10
Rams?
with 10:46
I
here.
like
So
Glenn Mack to me, man. I
Here
do. He's a
haven't
good
had a
coach.
turnover yet tonight.
This is just
I'm
not
knocking
very
on wood. We don't want no turn.
What else?
Yeah.
What else are we seeing out there? What are
What
other-
else we got? We got obviously we're here on the
Heiser.
Chambersburg Gettysburg game. Chambersburg 17-10 in the fourth. Out there in Cumberland Valley, Manheim Township is up 28-14 on the Eagles.
Now they're
Over
on
there
the
in
Trojan side of the
Shippensburg,
field.
we got a
Chambersburg with
uplifting moment for the Greyhounds there, leading
Heiser with the snap,
28-7 on Big
himself, goes down the
Spring.
middle of room. He's at the
Well, as
40,
you just said about Central
reaching
York
over down
blowing
to
the doors off of Central
36-yard line.
Dauphin.
Big run by Heiser for
I think
Gettysburg.
Allentown Central Catholic
And that's gonna be
10-0
another
over
first down for the
Trinity when we
Warriors.
last heard. And we got Boiling Springs 28, Littlestown 7 there in the second half.
Gettysburg starting to find that opening
Yeah,
there,
so
straight
Tyler
middle.
Schneider, who's
Heiser with a nice
basketball
run.
coach over at Boiling
And the ball's
Springs,
on
he's been
36.
messaging me
They have
throughout
to run
this
that
game.
quarterback draw
And
Oh, really?
yeah,
You gotta
Fake
keep-
handoff, keeps it
we actually
in.
didn't know what to expect from
Just
Bowling
keeps-
Springs
just
this year.
shifty enough
But
to
according to
rush a certain
him,
guy, I have a hard
Sawyer
time
Young,
stopping him.
their running back, one of their running
20
backs,
yards for Brady.
now has over
Gets 5.
200 yards and 3 touchdowns on 3
He
plays.
just keeps moving the
One
ball
of them was a
down
long kick return,
nonchalantly
though.
with 10 minutes to go here in
Javier
the fourth. Trojans up
Rosario has
17-10.
They're having a hard time
51
getting a
yard
negative
rush
play.
touchdown.
The one time they did.
So they're roughing up.
Big
So
pass to Schultz.
we actually, I think a lot of us picked
Three
Littlestown
linesmen
to
up
win
there
that
at the
game because we
line.
just did not know what Bowling Springs had. But
Chambersburg
you know, they
secondary
run
gets
that.
set. Now
has it.
Burnett
Option
has
stuff
it. He
and,
goes to the left side trying
it
to
worked
get it
for them.
afterburners on, but Trojans right
Yeah.
there to help.
So it looks like they got it going again. Coach
But did he get
Bradzel
enough
and
for
those
the
guys
first
out there.
down? He muscled his way. Second chance opportunity for him.
How about
We're
I'll
still
tell you what's
waiting,
jumping
and
off
the
the page
linesman
at
finally
me.
says wave it.
Manheim
They're gonna move the
Central right
chains.
now
He
is
did get enough
leading
for the
the
first
West
down.
Philadelphia Speed Boys.
Looks like it was brought
10
down.
to 8.
He probably was.
What was it, 8
must
before
not
ball
have
game
been.
for a
Was
while?
able to muscle and get the extra yardage.
And
we got to see if that's accurate.
Manheim
I'm still
Central's
finding it hard to
good.
believe that we had a 4.
Manheim Central's usually really good.
I mean, that was the powerhouse. Having grown up in Lancaster County, Manheim Central was the only team that we really ever cared about beating where I was at lowly Ephrata. Well, we were lowly at that time. Obviously, Ephrata has the big year last year. They're in District 3, making the deep run. But yeah, Manheim Central is historically one of the great programs in the region.
How about Perk Valley is beating Chester, which is a state-ranked team, 14-7.
Yeah. They've matched up in recent years. That's actually Park Valley. If this was a previous year, there's a pretty decent chance that I would have been at that game, running around the sidelines, taking photos, reporting on that game. That's just a really good program. Coach Rob Heist out there at Perk Valley is just super consistent. He's got a great longtime staff around him, and they constantly bring the right amount of talent in the different positions. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're hanging right in there and actually on top of Chester, who has consistently done great in 5A here in recent years as well. You got to give it to Chester as well. I mean, they're always at the top of that rankings there in District 1. So that's definitely an interesting game and result there.
Here's one. Rick Preet, his Roman Catholic football team was number 1. We had them number 1 in 5A. And right now they're playing Newman Grady, and they're up 45-0. And Newman Grady has got some guys. But we know Roman Catholic, we've been saying this, they've had some guys for a couple of years now. This was kind of the year they should have come into their own. It looks like, man, that's impressive. You're up 45-0 on Newman Grady. Samaj Beals is their quarterback. We did a story on him last year when he He got it off from Alabama. I kind of liken him to Bryce Young a little bit. He's a little wiry, can throw it a little bit. I know he kind of dropped down the recruiting rankings for, I think he's a 2026 kid here for the state, but I still like that kid a lot. They got a lot of good players, Ash Roberts and stuff out there, a wide receiver. That's pretty impressive for Roman Catholic to be beating up on New McGrady that bad.
Yeah. There's another one that I have my eye on, which is Garnet Valley on top of Coatesville, 27-6. I mean, of the last decade plus, those are two of the absolute powerhouse programs in District 1. And so to see, man, Garnet Valley is just produces in every single sport across the seasons. It's just they always have elite talent. And I mean, Coatesville's been one of those top teams with Coach Matt Ortega. I mean, so to see that not be as competitive as you might hope shows well for Garnet. That's for sure. And did we have anybody from those two teams on the all PA teams at all? I was thinking there's some.
We did, and I'm glad you brought that up though, because usually the preseason, we did put out the preseason team today, and we can talk about it a little bit as we kind of wait on some more results and stuff to come in. But I mean, you look at it, and the preseason team, postseason we go 3 deep. We do 3 teams, and it's our all-state team regardless of classification. Whereas with the Writers all-state team, it's like they break it up 1A, 2A, 3A. We just put them all together and try to say it's the best of the best. And I think one of the toughest decisions, Austin, was quarterback. We only did 1 team for the preseason.
Looking, and it's caught by his receiver on the far side. He spins 3.
Gettysburg's making this a game. Look, they're down in the red zone.
Kamir Robinson.
Bruce Patchley. Is that Bruce we got on the call?
No, Bruce wasn't able to.
It sounded like Bruce.
Close. It is going to be first and goal.
It does. I'm confused now. I don't know what's going on.
Did we catch Bruce cutting class on him?
I'm not going there.
So I think when we look at the preseason all PA team.
Brady Heiser and the
there it is. Touchdown Brady Heiser.
There we go.
Brady earned these 6 points. This drive.
It looks like we're getting ready to have a tie ball game with Chambersburg and Gettysburg.
Now cut the lead to 1.
He's in pretty good shape.
I thought Gettysburg would win this game. I really did, and
he's making it work.
Chambersburg was another one of those teams. I feel like this year more than a lot of other years there were teams that just had a lot more questions. I thought it was going to be one of the fun things about the season, kind of seeing who,
6 points on the board, and
figuring some things out.
As Connor Hazel gets ready
if he makes this
for the extra point.
I was going to say though, Austin, come on, kid.
The placeholder. The kick is up.
There you go. Nice kick.
And it's good. We got a tie ball game.
There we go.
Tie ball game.
Let's go.
You dare go away. We'll be right back after these messages.
So, quarterback
17.
Preseason. Matt Zollers is the guy who's the #1 prospect now. Spring forward quarterback, and he's a Missouri commit. Peyton Falzone's out there at Nazareth, who's going to Virginia Tech. Samaj Bills, I mentioned Roman Catholic's a good one. Went Stone Saunders from Bishop McDevitt, and did that because, again, Stone's put up tremendous numbers throughout his career. Bishop McDevitt should be pretty good again this year. And if all goes well, he's going to set a couple state all-time passing records for like career touchdowns, potentially passing yardage again. We just had them ironically snapped by Real High's Alex Irby. Anaheim Township just intercepted the Cumberland Valley. Anaheim Township's pulling away over here. They just intercepted the Cumberland Valley pass on their half of the field, and they're winning 35-14 with 8:21 to go. So looks like the Blue Streaks are going to take out the Eagles.
Yeah.
But we took Stone Saunders. He's got a chance to break those Alex Irby records. Alex Irby just broke last year, Eli quarterback. Now, I know you watched a lot of Matt Zollers. What do you think
True
about
story.
that? What do you think
Yeah,
about
I mean, he really came along in recent years. It was cool to see. It's cool to see somebody who's promising, who gets a shot early on in their career, but then you see them really blossom, put in the work, and then blossom there in his junior year, where now he's really the complete package. It always actually surprised me how mobile he was. He just, if you just look at him, you're thinking, he's just going to be a pocket passer. He's probably, and that he can't take a hit because he's on the thinner side. But I saw him take off plenty of times, take a hit, bounce right back up. So that was one of the things that stood out to me as, I mean, he's got the arm talent, that's for sure. At least how I always saw it. But I felt like he really grew into those other aspects of being that complete quarterback that you can count on in both sides think whether the play's going right or if the play's broken down, he can find a way to get it done. So yeah, it was cool to see his growth. Yeah, I did notice that you went with Stone for the
I
QB
feel like
spot.
if Stone does, and we're popping in here real quick. We'll get back to some off PA stuff in a minute. We're popping in here to Mechanicsburg and Carlisle. Mechanicsburg's up 27-6. We kind of expected this. Mechanicsburg returns Eli Ryder at quarterback. He threw for over 2,000 yards last year. They have a big wide receiver. You guys who are watching, really underrated on the state level. His name's Josh Smith. He's a 6'2", 6'3" kid. He caught 70 balls last year. Really good basketball player too, but he's starting to get some college looks, and he can go get it. They got a new coach at Mechanicsburg. So this was interesting to see Anthony Rose he left after last season.
Yeah, I would imagine if
at Carlisle, which
I'm
digging those uniforms for Carlisle. I kind of like that.
When they got the ball,
I mean, they're green, but that looks like are we getting like the black helmet deal here, or is that just how it looks?
And so they just been grinding.
I'm digging it, Austin. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Hey,
Carlisle has Brandon Cook. He's second year. Wow, how about this?
Whoa!
Redland
just
They're down by
scored.
8. Like, what were we just saying? It's 30-22. Redland is trailing Cedar Cliff right now in that rivalry game.
And we're jumping back.
Yeah,
Love it.
we're jumping back.
Producer Megan bringing it.
Yeah, Megan
jumping back there,
30-22. This is wild. Okay, look, if Redland beats them, nobody saw it coming. So
that's great.
I don't know.
That's all I ask for. Competitive games. That's all I ask for.
I like testing the guys, so I got to see if Epler wants to reassess the Cedar Cliff prediction after this for Redland. No knock against the Redland guys, because I will say Colin Gillen, the head coach at Cedar Cliff, man, very consistent program. They had the Jaheim Morris kid, his brother Jonte Morris after him. Both of those guys were all PennLive Offensive Player of the Year for Mid-Penn. I think both of them ran for close to 2,000 yards as seniors. Both of them are Millersville now. So that's another thing we need to dig into here. Austin,
big pickup there.
Yeah, that was big
by Cedar Cliff.
You think Cedar Cliff has enough metal and enough good players that they can take it away, but Redland's putting themselves in position here. So
yeah,
we got to look at the college stuff too, man, because people who are tuning in, our area is we're based out of Harrisburg. We do look at the whole state, but particularly for Mid-Penn guys. We got some guys poised to do some big things, Austin, on Saturdays coming up. So I need to get you that list of our guys at the college level from the Mid-Penn. And then, we can look at some of the bigger guys from Pennsylvania at the college level too, because we got some really good ones there.
Yeah. Wow. So we got a final in the Cocoa Bean Bowl. Hershey 6, Milton Hershey 0.
What?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well,
thoughts?
I didn't expect it to be that close. But you know what? Hershey kind of overperformed last year. We didn't, and I think State College just scored another touchdown. They did. I'm tilting my laptop back so I can see.
Wait, I'm sorry. That's wrong. You know what? That's wrong. Sorry.
Come on, Austin.
Told me. I'm sorry. Hershey's up 28-0.
That's more like it.
Yeah.
But I will say,
Let's go fix that score stream.
Hershey lost a lot too, man. They had Angel Hernandez, who was a really good running back for them last year, and big kid, and he was a rumbler, and he ran for over 1,000 yards, and they actually kind of shocked a lot of us. Tom DeMartini just tweeted that Hershey has 20 penalties tonight, and they're winning 28-0. So Mark Painter, man, you know what? They did better than we thought last year. So Mechanicsburg just scored again from Megan. They're up 27-6 on Carlisle. I'll get back to him real quick. I know Chance Powell, I believe he's still there working as offensive coordinator at Carlisle. Brandon Cook's in his second year. They're trying to get that program going again. Chance Powell has a history of really doing some good things with quarterbacks around here. He worked with King Everson at Harrisburg. He started out working with Stone Saunders at Bishop McDevitt. He's a really good offensive mind, and but it's an uphill battle trying to get it right. It's 33-6 now in the Mechanicsburg Carlisle game. Mechanicsburg's winning, so going to be a rough year for them, but they got some good guys at the helm of that program, Austin. So all PA, man. 2 running backs on our preseason team. Jabri Wallace Coleman from Emotep and Tikwe Hayes from Aliquippa. Seniors, both of them well over 1,000 yards last year. Both of them state champions last year. And both of them are Penn State commits. What do you think about that?
Good job that they're staying home for the Penn State faithful.
You got to get some cold brew. All right, we got to get you some cold brew. Get you fired. I know you're reading over there.
I'm trying to fix this score stream. I'm now upset that I mistakenly reported the Hershey score and then I had bad intel. So just out here trying to fix
There's a lot of guys you could throw in there that are interesting at running back. Isaiah West, St. Joseph Prep running back. He ran for a little over 800 yards last year. He's an Ohio State commit. They had a crowded backfield last year. Now he's kind of going to be the only guy there. So wouldn't shock me if he's in the mix. Messiah Mickens at Harrisburg, as talented as any of them. Wouldn't shock me. Jared Porter we put on there as an athlete, but he could be on there as a running back when it's all said and done. So it's an interesting group, man. Running back's one of the deeper positions in the state right now. Touchdown gateway. And I think it's still like 35-14 State Colleges in the lead. So
actually, I meant to ask you this. Do you think that the Sean Lee ineligibility changes the identity at all for Harrisburg?
Well, he was a leader for them, and he was a great athlete. He had over 4,000 yards last year and over 30 touchdowns. Good kid. I will say it'll be interesting because Harrisburg has on paper, and I said this week, and Epler, who's been around nearly 30 years, reminded me that Bishop McDevitt had a pretty darn good backfield with Ricky Waters, Jackson Borowski, I believe, who played the Borowski guy played at Penn State. The other guy played at another big school. Obviously, Ricky Waters being the big name there.
Sure.
But if you look at the backfield that Harrisburg has this year, Deontay Sheffy 2 years ago as a freshman, 2 years ago as a freshman, led the Mid-Penn in rushing with over 1,700 yards at State College. He's there. He's a Syracuse commit. Ty Mickens is one of the top-rated players in the state. He's there now, transferred from Trinity. He's a Penn State commit. Both of them are running backs. And, oh, by the way, they had a kid named Nehemiah Ewell who kind of runs like Eric Dickerson, kind of upright. He ran
that's a good shout.
He ran for – well, that's Eric Epler originally put that label on him, but he ran for over 1,300 yards last year. So you got those 3 guys, maybe the best backfield. So you should be – and Kevin Brown, oh, by the way, is the top recruit in the state on offensive line. So you should be able to run the football with them. We got a touchdown here.
Yeah, looks like we just got a touchdown for Cedar Cliff to go back up. 2 scores there over Redland. Probably put that one to bed.
But you know what? Again, I don't think anybody expected Redland to have 22 points tonight. So I don't like moral victories in the rivalries, but I think they got something to feel good about.
Yeah. We got victory formation over there in Garnet Valley. So Garnet Valley 34-19 over Coatesville. That one's going to go final.
We thought Coatesville would be pretty good. And Garnet Valley's always good. But
yeah.
Back to Harrisburg, though. Elias Koch at wide receiver. I covered a guy in high school named A.J. Green. He played for our rival at Somerville High School.
Like the A.J. Green?
The A.J. Green.
Okay.
He played for my
I covered a guy A.J. Green. You mean that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I played. So I went to Walterboro High School. He went to Somerville High School. I worked at the Walterboro Press and Standard. Coming out of high school was my first job. And they had A.J. Green in Somerville, so I got to cover many games he played in. Elias Koch is not A.J. Green. A.J. Green's one of the best high school players I've ever seen, but he kind of reminds me a little bit in the way he can go up and get a ball.
3rd and 1.
And so he can do that. He's a national type ranked player at wide receiver. Quincy Brandon's really good. We think he should have some good college offers. He's out there. He had over 40 catches, and then you have Kamir Williams, who had nearly 40 catches last year. So the weapons are there. So it comes down to Michael Shank, the new quarterback who come in. He's a big kid. He's 6'3". He's like 200 pounds. Young kid. If he can throw it down the field a little bit, we were talking about this in the podcast, PA High School Football Report. Ep and Dan was saying, if he can, they could do like some quick hitters, but even if he can get it down the field a little bit.
He has it. He's at the 5. He
Look at
pushed
this.
out of bounds. What a catch by Trevor Luther. And they're going to mark him around the 2-yard line.
Trevor Luther. That's the coach's son.
And a big catch by
Mark Luther's son.
Yeah, he kind of had a little bit off.
Big moment for them.
We got some non-professional camera work going out here at this stream of the Chambersburg Gettysburg's interesting camera work. Anyway,
hey, we're all just trying to make it work here.
if Michael Shank can get it down the field a little bit with that running game, and they should have a pretty good lineup for him, Harrisburg,
They'd be better off.
Harrisburg's passing attack may improve.
If they can.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Kind of stupid.
And I only say that because I think Sean Lee was a run first kind of court. He's going to play defensive back in college. I think he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
A very good quarterback that knows about what to do
But,
at the right situation.
If they get a guy who's going to think pass first,
hands it to Watson.
with the weapons they got going down the field and that run game, it could improve.
Maybe a yard loss, but
Sounds crazy to say,
Gettysburg
but I'm not writing them off, even though they lost a player of that caliber. Like I was very excited to see that offense with Sean Lee in it. But who knows? We got the feed cut on us.
Yeah, it looks like they're having some struggles over there.
Poor
And that's
Carlisle.
that's one of our tightest games.
Yeah. Poor Carlisle.
Shippensburg and Big Spring.
Yep. Back here in Gettysburg.
The camera work in Gettysburg is
What
amazing.
a game. Talk about what you want in a football game. Of course, it'd be great.
I think our guy doing the camera work.
Still got a lot of time on the clock. Gettysburg won.
Might have been
We got
a
a
pregame
tight one.
We might have some pregame tailgating going on.
So it's going to be second down.
Well, to be fair, if he's got no tripod and he's just free-handing it, I mean, that's a different exercise there, brother.
Yeah, I guess something's better than nothing. So
That's right. Yeah, think about this. I mean, really, back in the day, would you be able to watch any of these games? You pick your one game and that's it. Here we are able to monitor the entire state, score by score. We're able to jump around to different streams. I mean, we're having some challenges with some of the streams, but doing our best to soldier through.
how about Nazareth with Peyton Falzoni and Marquez
he's gonna be
Wimberly
tackled
running
there
back,
by number 9 for the Warriors, Christopher Miller.
They saw that one coming.
42-7 over
Miller's
Hazleton.
is
Looks
right
like
behind him in this track.
State College going
And
right
we're gonna
back
have
down the
another
field. I tell you what, Eddie Corkery, the quarterback for
Pittsburgh
State
doing
College,
this whole
guys,
thing here.
Took only a
underrated.
couple
He's a
seconds
good
off
ball
the clock,
player.
too, so 2 minutes
And Michael
14
Gall
seconds,
looks
third
like
down and 6 to
who's
go. We'll take a quick
going to be a
timeout. We
linebacker
got a
commit
good one
in
for
college.
It's
Mhm.
Making
Gettysburg
plays
17,
from what I can see
Gettysburg
tonight.
17. Right after these messages on the
Yeah, I'm a little
Sports
surprised.
Network.
This is a
Mid-Penn
48-14.
Broadcasting.com and
State College is
sportspage.blog.
leading this Gateway team.
Premier
10 minutes to go. I
HVAC
thought
is
they
a
would
proud
beat Gateway,
supporter
but
of the
again, Gateway
Chambersburg
usually
Area
has a
School
few
District.
athletes. So
Rely on Premier HVAC services for all
watch
your
out for
heating and
State.
cooling needs.
You know,
with
everybody's been
same-day
talking
service,
about Bishop
free
McDevitt
estimates,
and
24-hour
Harrisburg
emergency
and the
services,
Commonwealth.
price match
Austin.
guarantee, and free
You
second
cannot write
opinions.
off
Visit us
State College. And
online
they're
at
losing. They lost Deontay Sheffy to Harrisburg, the
premierhvaca.com.
Syracuse commit.
Premier HVAC
So
services.
you can't
The
write those guys
experience
off,
you
man.
deserve.
I'm feeling good now. I got one cold brew down. If anybody's watching and they want to email Linder at PennLive.com with great cold brew can recommendations.
Patients of all ages with conditions.
Just say maybe we can get a sponsor, get the cold brew sponsor.
I'm a caffeine junkie, man, and I had to kick the energy drink.
So we're right here where Evan Wheaton's out there at Big Spring. He's that game has gone final. Shippensburg 28-7 over Big Spring, and obviously a triumphant moment for Ship and a tough week for them.
You just mentioned
So there's Evan's video from the field there.
You actually see him telling their neighbors in the Carlton Press. That game was at Big Spring, as we talked about when we first came on. Brady Majeski, the quarterback for Shippensburg, he is the son of Shippensburg University coach Mark Majeski. His younger brother found dead in their backyard. This 13-year-old younger brother was found dead in their backyard. Gunshot wound to the head. There's still some things to be figured out there. But Brady played tonight. He's over 100 yards, just scored a touchdown. The team won. Big emotional moment when he scored, running back over his coach, air hugging him. And lay some prayers up for that family. And at the same time, we talked about you can't replace and you can't fix that hurt, but special moment for the community kind of coming together like that tonight. Another touchdown for State College, and they are absolutely, you know, they're beating Gateway so bad. They're going to get a PIAA suspension as bad as they're beating Gateway right now. Somebody's going to call Bob Lombardi.
Hey, we got our first overtime game. We got Donegal and Middletown, 24-all, headed to overtime.
Middletown's been struggling, man. So, Austin, when I first got here, Middletown had Brett Myers as their head coach, and they ran about 4 plays, and they went to 4 straight state championships doing it, though. You know, but then obviously they had a hazing scandal, and that was darn ugly. And
now we jumped over to Camp Hill, Lancaster Catholic.
What's the score here?
Camp Hill was closing the gap. Producer Megan says it might even be tied, 28-all.
Wow. So, look, Camp Hill's a team that's fun to watch. So they run like an air raid offense. They don't run a lot. And they have a great quarterback, Drew Brandstatter, who can throw it around. And you got a big wide receiver as a college prospect, Alex Long, and another kid named Noah Doy, who's only like 5'9". But he can play.
Yeah, Doy touchdown as of 2 minutes ago to tie the game 28-all with 7:59 left. So, yeah, we got a good one here. This was not Camp Hill was down, I want to say, at least 2 scores earlier. Yeah, they were down 21-7, so good comeback from them.
Camp Hill won a district title last year. Nobody saw it coming. We really thought Trinity was going to do it, and they beat Trinity twice. But they're fun to watch, man, with how they play. So I say a lot of times they don't even pretend to want to run the football, you know. They just kind of spread you out and throw it around.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like nonsense like that. I don't know how you feel about it. Like a lot of guys like the old school football, but I kind of like the offenses like that are fun, you know.
I believe that football allows even more creativity than a lot of teams will even run. From a being able to draw up a play and be as creative as you want to be, I think is such allows so much potential for anything could happen on a given play. I wish teams would run a little more creativity. Yeah, so I love seeing teams air it out. I love misdirection. Yeah, I just think it really allows for it.
Well, they're fun. They get up there and they get their splits and just kind of throw it around. So
What else we got here?
other weeks tweet to me looking for headline ideas. Texted me. I guess tweet's not a word anymore thanks to Elon. Where's that guy Ramir? We need to get Ramir on here since
Yeah, hey, I'll
let's talk
get
about
him on.
Imhotep. He was out of the Imhotep game.
Yeah.
That was closer than I thought. People, if you're tuning in, Imhotep beat Clarkson North 38-20. Imhotep's now up in 6A, defending 5A state champions. They have Zahir Mathis, the Ohio State committed defensive end, and as we said earlier, all PA. He's an all PA guy, preseason all PA guy at PennLive.com. Check that out today. And so Boiling Springs finishes off Littlestown 35-7. And then Jabri Wallace Coleman, who's also
we got a final. Minersville 39-0 over Halifax.
Yeah.
West Perry taking it to Susquehanna 58-0. That's a final.
It's that time of the night, Austin, when my phone starts blowing up with texts, people wanting to know scores and sending me scores. And
well, hey, that's why I wanted to do this show, because I knew that was I figured we'll just put Brian online, have people watch the show, we'll run it down for them, and then they don't have to blow up your phone as much.
Chester has closed the gap. Now it's 14-13 with Kirk Valley. So they got a Harris kid at quarterback. He's put up some video game type numbers the past couple years. Big expectations in Chester. So, they don't want to lose that game. Peters Township now is pulled ahead of Cannon Mac. And they were losing that game earlier. So your guys out at Spring Ford taking care of business. 31.
Yeah, they were up in Souderton. Yeah. Another one here. I got to figure out who. 21-12 final between Central Bucks West and Easton. I just got to figure out who was. I think Easton might have beat Central Bucks West, which CB West was our number 3 ranked team in 6A. So that could be a big result there.
Well, we talked about this on the podcast.
No, I'm sorry. CB West 21-12 over Easton. So tight game up there. Big way to come through for CB West, who is on our top 10 rankings in 6A. So big time for them to come through.
Cathedral Prep beats Erie 19-6. Looks like our Trinity Shamrocks are gonna fall to Allentown Central Catholic. That's 18-0. Jersey Shore and Dallas 21-21 in the fourth quarter. That's a good kind of, Dallas beat Bishop McDevitt last year in the playoffs. That was a shocking.
On the defense. And for Brady and his Warriors to keep going, they're going to have.
Our producer Megan said somebody went down in the Camp Hill game. Oh, we have a delay there.
It is cramp season.
It is.
First game of the year.
Wow. So hold on now. So Montour is beating Central Valley 17-7. That would be big. West Mifflin beat Elizabeth Forward 17-16. This score can't be right. I'm gonna.
Which one?
Talk a little bit.
What are we looking for?
This up.
Wait, what score are we trying to figure out?
I gotta check off our regular score.
All right. So let's see, what else do we have here? Over there in the let's keep going with the state scores. Nazareth up big on Hazleton 42-7 according to what we got in Score Stream. That may be a final now. Yeah, that CB West with the 21-12 win over Easton. Yep, so Nazareth is a final now. Downingtown West with a decently close one over Lincoln, 23-6. We had new reporter Ramir Vaughn, who was at the Imhotep game there in York. They came through and beat Clarkson North, Canada-based school. They won 38-20.
Austin,
That's
I'm seeing Troy 84, Sayre 12.
okay. They were fired up. Troy was fired up for week 1, I think, is what we can safely take away from that. Let's see, what else do we have here? I got to get to the bottom of the Mannheim Central West Philly game. We're still listening there.
Well,
Chester's taking the lead on Perkiomen Valley now, 19-14.
that's big for them. You know, I will say Mannheim Central lost Aaron Antolon, who was their really good receiver. I think he went as a walk-on to Penn State. Zach Hahn, who was their starting quarterback for, I think, all 4 years. Wow. State College has intercepted the gateway pass. It's 55-14, 2 minutes to go. They're down to the 25-yard line. So State College really put it on Gateway tonight.
That's hopefully the clock is nearly complete up there in State
Crazy.
College.
This is crazy too because the kid intercepted the pass. The Gateway player guy ran him down, stripped it. It popped up in the air, and another State College kid coming behind him called it and just kept on running. So, and it popped up in the air behind his back, and the other kid called it and just kept on running.
Wow.
So State College, man, I'm telling you, don't sleep on them. And 6A and then the Commonwealth. You know, we always talk about Harrisburg in the Mid-Penn Commonwealth and then Bishop McDevitt, but State College.
I don't know if we hit the final on this, but Chambersburg ended up coming through for the final, 24-17.
That's a big win for them. I'd be interested to see, like I said, what JJ Kelly is out there if he suited up. So we expected him to suit up and play. He told us he was. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that'll be interesting. Can't wait to see that box score. Anyway, all PA, man.
Where are we
what do you got
jumping
going on here
now?
on the screen?
Back to Camp Hill. Trying to make that comeback there at Lancaster Catholic.
Tim Bigelow's guys. You know, running the air raid offense. Lancaster Catholic had a pretty good the Cunningham kid. Elijah Cunningham was their running back last year. Liked him a lot. Had him in our prospect rankings. I don't know where he ended up, but he was a really good running back. I have a Brandon Way kid. Mechanicsburg 34-6 over Carlisle. That one's done. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough year for Carlisle. We'll see. Camp Hill. They were getting ready to punt that. It looked like. What down is it? Got to be 4th down, right? Hill 28-28. Chris Mountainer says the live stream looks good.
I love to hear it.
Chris is out there getting he's working on some trending tonight.
That's right.
Doing big trending numbers, Austin.
That's why I called you the trending guru. You have a gift for moving what people want to click on, what they want to read, what's going to drive their interest. So you love it.
I love high school football too. So again, 28-7, Shippensburg, Big Spring. Evan's writing that story up. That's going to be good. Hollidaysburg 24, Altoona 14. I was interested in that. Altoona had Ron Mosley coming back. He had over 1,500 yards. And they had a big lineman, Calvin Troutman. I thought they'd be a little bit better. You know, I actually think I even picked them to win that game. Palmyra 40-0 over Lebanon. Lebanon's been down. Palmyra's been down too. But that's a good win for that program. Chris Pope and his program there. And whatnot. Good win for Palmyra. as all my texts light up. Mifflin County, 28-0 over Central Mountain. Now, Mifflin's a team we've been hearing. They've been bad. They've been a little bad lately. Last couple of years. They were okay last year. But we were hearing some things about them. And, wow, Cedar Crest 38, Lower Dolphin 16. I thought Lower Dolphin might put up a little better fight there. And then I just saw Middletown beat Donegal, it looks like. I think Middletown only won one game last year, so that's big for them. Ramir Vaughn, new guy at PennLive.
Yes.
So, hey,
There he
man,
is. Welcome, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What was your first night out? So you've been at Temple.
Yes.
You just joined our team last week.
Yes.
But you didn't know the Imhotep guys, man, last week. So how in the world were you at Temple and you didn't know that they're like royalty in Philly, man? Come on.
See, I was focused so much on Temple sports, I couldn't even try to go anywhere outside of it. And I live lived right around the corner from St. Joe's Prep, so that's all I ever heard about.
You were on the Hawks train.
I have my beef with them, but it's
okay. Beef early, Brian. Well, we'll have to unpack that in a future date.
I'm interested in St. Joe's Prep this year, man. They're rebuilding. They lost a lot of guys. They got a lot of guys coming back. They got a running back going to Ohio State, defensive tackle going to Ohio State. So they should still be pretty good. But
yeah.
I'm interested in them. You were out at Imhotep, and they played Clarkson North 38-20.
Yes.
Imhotep won, but Clarkson North was winning, I think, after the first quarter, right? And
yes, sir.
We thought that game was going to be a bigger blowout for the defending 5A state champs, moving up to 6A. What did you see out there tonight?
I think everyone in the stands earned or got a new perspective on who Clarkson North is, because they took one of the best teams in the state to the wire. The score doesn't indicate how close that game was. It wasn't a blowout until maybe the last 5 minutes of the game. As Isaiah Prater for Imhotep had a really, really good second half and really had two big plays that closed out the game. He had, I believe it was a 18-yard reception on 3rd and 23 to put Imhotep in position to convert a 4th down, which he converted. He scored a 18-yard touchdown on the very next play, and that really opened up the floodgates, and it was really over after that.
Who else stood out to you? I mean, again, Imhotep's got Zahir Mathis, who was a preseason All-PA guy, Ohio State commit, 60. Ohio State commit 6'6", 230 pounder. Jabri Wallace Coleman's the Penn State commit at running back. What did you see from those guys, and anybody else stand out to you from the Imhotep squad out there tonight?
Jabri Wallace Coleman struggled mightily in the first half. Clarkson North, whatever game plan they had, worked. And he couldn't get no room, no wiggle room, let alone yardage. And after the first half, really after the third quarter, he started to get himself in more of a groove, had 139-yard scamper that led to a touchdown. Zahir Mathis, my fault, I apologize. It's been a long night. But Zahir Mathis, he didn't have as much of a impact as you would come to expect from someone like him, but he was always around the ball. He had a couple knockdowns or tip passes at the line of scrimmage, which was big. Obviously, he's 6'6", so he should be getting a couple of those. And I believe Clarkson North's quarterback couldn't have been taller than me, and I'm 5'11", so him being able to knock some of those balls down. He did catch a 2-point conversion, which I did find interesting that they use him in 2-point conversion packages or goal line packages in general, because he was in pretty much every goal line play. So he made an impact, but it wasn't as big as you would come to expect from him.
They put up 80 points in this. For people who don't know, you were out at the Rose Bowl kickoff deal in York, is where this game was played.
Yeah.
Good atmosphere out there tonight.
Great atmosphere. Right now, York Suburban is playing, so it's electric over there. I'm sitting in the parking lot. it's electric over there right now. But for this game, it's like it was the Clarkson North side wasn't as, you know, hyperactive as the Emotep side was. Emotep, every play you can hear them. They're loud. They're screaming. The Clarkson North side, it was really the players and the bench. Even when they were down, like it was still chanting, still being loud. You can tell like their leaders were leading the bench and like trying to help, you know, rally the guys on the field.
Well, man, look, Austin, I don't know if you got anything for him, but I want to tell you, man, it's great.
Appreciate you jumping on. It's good to hear the insights from your first game. We threw you in the deep end here. We basically, hey, Ramir, you're starting on Monday. Okay, we're gonna send you out to a football game, bring you on the live show. As we're like I said earlier, we're calling it on the fly. So thanks for jumping on. We'll reconnect here once the show's over. But thanks for jumping in.
Tell people real quick how to find you on social media.
See, I believe my Twitter name is _Mir1500. For whatever reason, I don't remember it.
We got to get you better at marketing your brand, my man.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
You hear that over the last 2 games of EA college football, I've gone 41 or 44 passing against Dan Sostek.
It is _Mir1500 _MIR 1500, and my Instagram is 15_Basil BASIL, not Basil.
There we go. Okay, maybe we'll have to get you some easier to remember socials. Maybe that'll
I gotta
help.
change
So. All right, Ramir. We'll catch you later.
Okay, see you guys.
You notice I threw in the Dan Sostek EA Sports college football. Anybody out there plays EA
Brian, you've shown so much restraint that you haven't mentioned the EA Sports here for the whole first hour of the show. I was shocked, really.
Except for Micah Parsons' brother. Terrence Parsons, I'm not playing you anymore. You destroyed me. Send Tom in. Tom, come on in.
Yeah,
Tom
let's do it.
Hi.
Tom DeMartini.
Hey, Tom.
Are you still out at the field?
I am on the field.
How did it go tonight, Tom? Cocoa Bean Bowl.
Hershey was the winner, 28-0. It was a really, I can't call it anything other than a sloppy game. Hershey fumbled the opening kickoff. Milton Hershey recovered. Milton Hershey fumbled on the following snap. And it was that kind of game going throughout the game. What Hershey did take over and offensively put up 2 touchdowns in the first quarter on a Sean Elliott 1-yard run and a Grant later with a 12-yard run later in the quarter. They also got a safety when a Milton Hershey punt sailed out of the end zone, and got some window dressing in the third quarter on a touchdown pass. Milton Hershey did have its moments. They got a little bit going in the passing game in the third quarter. They did get the ball inside the 10 on 2 occasions, but turned the ball over on downs. Both teams seem to have a little work they'll need to be doing. Hershey committed, in a winning 28-0 effort, committed 20 penalties for 160 yards. So, but Hershey comes away with the Cocoa Bean Bowl for the 3rd consecutive season.
We expected Milton Hershey to be down a little bit. I mean, they lost all those good wide receivers. Angel Roberts, Mo Kamara. They had some good guys, and their quarterback too from last year. Anybody for them in a rough, sloppy game maybe looked like they may have some promise, Tom?
Yeah, the Hopkins, Elijah Hopkins can throw the ball, and he has a couple of kids who can catch the ball. There were a couple of connections for 2 at least for more than 45 yards. So their passing game has some promise. They need some work on the running game. Hopkins seems to be the only the guy who can really run the ball. So they need some work in the running game, but their passing game does show a little promise.
So a little bit, we thought Hershey would win this game, but they lost some guys too. They lost their big running back from last year. Angel, they lost him. Who really stuck out for them tonight?
Elliott had touchdown runs of 1 yard and 5 yards. Grant later also showed that he can run the ball, and it was basically running back by committee. We had six guys touch the ball on offense. And Hershey can move the football. Hershey can move the football. They just need some work on snapping the ball without a false start.
Well, Mark Painter has done the last year and a half. I think they've sort of overachieved for maybe where we had them pegged at. Maybe we just had them pegged wrong.
Samir Edwards. Samir Edwards is one of the younger kids who can really run the ball. I've got a Twitter clip on him, and he really looks very promising.
Well, Tom, we appreciate you. I don't know, Austin, if you got anything else for him.
Yeah, no, just no, it was good stuff, Tom. Appreciate you jumping on. And Megan actually helped us out and queued up some of those highlights of your Twitter video, so that was good stuff too. So that people could see the what you were talking about while it was going. So appreciate you jumping on, doing it from the field as well. Give us the real behind the scenes action. Love it.
Okay.
Tom,
all right, guys.
Tom will have more on Penn Live here shortly on the game, so there'll be plenty more to look for there. So,
hey guys.
All right, Tom. Appreciate you, buddy. Austin, I'm going to go pull up the whole statewide score list. What do you think about that?
Let's do it. Let's run it down. Yeah, we're kind of at that time of the night where it's almost everything's done.
Let's see if the Associated Press has our statewide score list out. All PA wide receivers, though, we were talking about down. Let's talk about now the Friday scores. Here we go. But all PA wide receivers, we took two Mid-Penn guys: Elias Cope, Lex Cyrus, the South Carolina commit, former state track champion, and then Julian McFadden from LaSalle College. He's a Syracuse commit. He caught 50 balls last year. And tomorrow, guys, LaSalle College is coming, and they're going to play Harrisburg. And Harrisburg, that's going to be a really good game because they have Gavin Sidboard, a Rutgers commit at quarterback, Julian McFadden catching balls from him, who's a Syracuse commit. Really good team. And it's going to be a really good test for Harrisburg. We got an initial statewide score list out, Austin.
I like it.
Hey, how about West Perry? Perry County rivals playing Susquehanna tonight. Now, West Perry, Austin, is an interesting team. They're up in Perry County, up in the mountains. They don't get a lot of transfers up there. They're kind of homegrown. And they went to a couple District 3 title games in a row. Unfortunately, they had to play while missing. So that didn't work out for them. But they had a really good team the last couple of years. Now, they lost those guys. They lost, their quarterback Marcus Quaker, and a couple of those guys are gone now. They're top guys. But they beat Susquehanna 58-0 tonight. So they're getting their season back off to, I think Brad Hockenberry had a really good night for them, which we thought he'd be pretty good. He was pretty good last year. So big night for the boys from Perry County. I'm just looking over the score list. Oil City lost to Harbor Creek 13-6. Now, why did I bring up Oil City?
It's a good question, Brian. Let us know.
They had our guy Ethan Knox there the last couple years. He's going on to college. He's the kid that broke Derrick Henry's national rushing record.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So don't have quite as much offense there this year without him. So don't know how they're going to replace it. Guess they can't. Guess they haven't yet. Lackawanna Trail 41-7 over Taconic. The Trove 41-0 over Connellsville. I'm trying to see if anything sticks out here, Austin. Plymouth White Marsh 49-14 over Upper Marion. Selinsgrove 14, Juniata 6. I think we all had Juniata picked to win that game, Austin. I'm posting our AP score list, Austin.
Love it.
What's the score in the Camp Hill game?
Still 28 all. We're recently there was an interception, so it looks like we may be headed to overtime there between Camp Hill and Lancaster Catholic.
What games do we photo tonight at PennLive.com?
At PennLive, we had photos from Manheim Township at Cumberland Valley. We were also at, I believe, the Cocoa Bean Bowl there at Milton Hershey. And we also shot the Imhotep Clarkson North game down at the York Rose Bowl.
I think now
3.
we're at 9:50. We'll probably be signing off before too long. I think now's a good time to kind of tell people what to expect over the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And into the morning and the weekend from us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have the coverage coming fast and hot here the rest of the weekend. Obviously, all our reporters who were at the games tonight, we covered 5, and we'll be writing up the other ones that come in via email. We'll have a headline for each game. Make sure everybody can see all the action from around the region and beyond. We're also going to have our top performers list from the evening. We're going to have Eric's going to have his look from around the state. So we'll have the 5 game stories plus many more. And then projecting into Saturday, we're going to have more game coverage. We've got LaSalle at Harrisburg. That's a big one Saturday. Then Penn Hills versus Susquehanna Township as part of the Rose Bowl there in York. Those games were moved to Smalls Field. So we got a triple header there, actually, with there in York. So you got Penn Hills versus Susquehanna Township, Bishop McDevitt versus Mount St. Joseph, and York versus CD East. That's a triple header down there. And we're covering them all. So we've got the coverage from those games, and we'll be continuing to bring out the updated state rankings. And we'll have
one of my favorite parts is we'll have tomorrow morning we'll have our Mid-Penn Star, so you'll get to see who was who. We'll have that in its own post, and we'll also have Sunday. We'll have everybody in the state. We're going to bring them together, and we'll have the top performers in the state. Which, for our statewide players of the week this year, you're getting sweet T-shirts. Okay, we're going to mail them to you. So if you know somebody has a top performance, make sure we get that. So we get them on that list and get them in the poll, and then vote. Yes, it is a little bit of a popularity contest because, we're going to pick our own all-star teams every week too. We'll do the Tremendous 22 on Monday, but we're going to, everybody on this list is going to be top performances. They're going to be great, and we're going to let it up to you guys to kind of decide who's getting the shirt and who's getting the nod for the fan vote each week. So it's going to be a lot of stuff, Austin. We kind of suss out who was who from the first weekend of high school football. So
yeah, that's the beauty of what we're doing here with Penn Live, is that it's not just, we're covering the Mid-Penn great, but it's also about keeping an eye on the entire state, which is what's really exciting. I know from my standpoint too, is that it's really exciting that we're able to keep a pulse and really, as we say, put the pen in Penn Live. So yeah, absolutely. It was a great honor in the past to be state player of the week, but now we're putting our money where our mouth is by upping the game with getting those top athletes a player of the week T-shirt from Penn Live. It's going to be really cool. So yeah, really good stuff ahead for us. And hopefully, hey, we were just calling this on the fly, and I don't know how you felt, Brian, but I felt pretty good about how we just kind of.
It's fun, and it kind of kept me looking around a little bit more than I normally do. I usually do have 3 or 4 games going in here, but it was fun to kind of look around the state as it progressed. And one thing we didn't really do is really put out a lot of the top performances yet and throw some more guys' names in around the state. And this is all going to be, I think, a work in progress, Austin, as we kind of figure out what's works best. But, if you watch this, definitely feel free to reach out to me or Austin, both of us. Austin's the lead guy now in sports. He's the head guy, but hit us up and let us know what you think about it. Let us know what we need to add to the broadcast and what you'd like to see, because it's just a chance to talk football, look around the state. It's what we love to do. And football season's here. I'm excited, man. I feel bad. Redland, man, looks like Cedar Cliff come back and roughed them up 50-30. But again, I got to say, I don't think anybody on the staff had Redland. Look how clutch, even though we're doing this on the fly, look how clutch our producer Megan is scrolling through all of this content we have on PennLive.com, which we just have tons of content, Austin.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable volume. Actually, I don't even. I'm. It's my job, and yet I don't even think I've gotten through all of it, just because we got that much stuff from our strong team of guys, growing team. As you guys were introduced to Ramir, so we just added more. We're doing it like nobody else, and that's why it's exciting time to be here with Penn Live. So yeah, absolutely. Like Brian said, let us know what you thought of the show. I think for our first try, I feel really good about it, and I think we can do even more. I think as we get more coordinated, we'll bring on the players and coaches to hear from them after the game, really get that first-person perspective of the action that took place. So, yeah, really exciting time. So, Brian, thank you so much for jumping on. Producer Megan, we love you for manning the ship behind the scenes like you did. So, thanks to everybody for checking out PennZone for its inaugural